Hi, welcome to Too Many Gadgets. So we're doing it again. We are modifying electric curtain from IKEA. This is the Fyrtur. So some of you who are following my channel may be thinking, is this Groundhog Day? Because hasn't this guy, done that before, modifying one of these electric curtains? And yes, I have. And a lot of you have seen that video, but this one is going to be longer because I'm going to be more detailed about some of the stuff that you can do and some of the stuff that you can't do, and the measurements of some of the components that I didn't cover in the original video. So if you just want to see sort of the quick guide to how you can modify this, choose the other video that I'll link to. But this is for you guys who want to be more sort of in details about how specifically can you cut stuff and what are the measurements of some of the key components of this curtain, to give you an idea of what can you modify and how much can you take off if that is sort of your consideration. I'm also going to be covering the part about to connect this curtain to your smart home so that you are able to control it using an app or a voice assistant. So again, this is going to be longer. If you just want the quick and dirty version, look at the other video. This is the more in-depth view. So this is what it looks like in the box when you pick it up at the store, and when we take it all out, this is what you get. So you get a manual. You get a power brick and a USB cable, you get a remote control with a battery, you get a Wi-Fi extender, you get the two mounting brackets and a battery. So the window that I'm doing this in is 121.4, and what you see here is the outer dimension of the curtain is 124.3, so something needs to come off here. So before we start modifying, I'll just show you some of the special measurements that you have been asking for in the other video that I did. So we have that sort of out of the way before starting the teardown of this curtain. So what we decided was to remove 6 centimeters to leave a little bit of extra buffer on both sides of the curtain. So we'll start sort of marking that up on the main housing, and also the list that's holding the curtain. And note to the left that I'm measuring from the small plastic piece that's holding the list and not just the curtain itself. So you need to measure from that point. We now need to remove this screw that's holding the end piece in order for us to take out the curtain. That screw will not be needed anymore once we've done the modification, so you can throw that away. And this is just, again, a measurement of the plastic piece that's connecting to the curtain. We can then remove the curtain from the motor unit so we can start doing the modification of the curtain. But before that, let's just measure out the motor component, and that's roughly 27 centimeters long. We then need to remove the small plastic piece that's holding the curtain list down, and I advise you to use a little plier or something like that, but use a piece of cloth to make sure that you don't damage the plastic piece. With the plastic piece off, we can now remove the list, so we have the curtain exposed, and that also enables us to remove this sort of small piece of paper that's on the curtain from IKEA's side, and you can just do that easily by removing this glued list and then pulling off the paper, so you don't have to cut it. This is just to show you that the curtain is glued to the roll, so you could, in theory, replace it. It's not nailed down or anything like that. It is glued to the curtain. Again, we are now measuring the 6 centimeters that we are removing on the curtain itself, and you can use the plastic case that it comes in to use as a big help for lining up the line that you'll need to draw. When cutting the curtain, use a good pair of scissors that are meant for cutting cloth, to make sure that you get an even cut when doing so, like this. Now we need to measure up the 6 centimeters that we are removing from the actual curtain. and then we are starting the cutting, and you need to use a metal saw to do this, and this part is fairly easy, but you might need to use the scissors again just to make sure that the claws sort of will slip. When you roll the curtain back down, have someone help you to make sure that it's tight, and do it slowly, because it's very important that you do this evenly. We can now start cutting the main unit. This is a little bit more tricky because it has a lot of edges and stuff like that. So again, make sure that you leave yourself a couple of millimeters of buffer so that you can handle that it's not directly even that you cut. The list is more easy to cut again, so that should be pretty easy for you guys to do. So with that out of the way, this process can pretty much be reversed. So we are then adding the list again to the curtain, putting the small piece of plastic back on, and you might just need to tap it a little bit to make sure that it sits nice and snug. Then put this small piece of plastic where you need to align the grooves to get it back in, and then we put the curtain back on the motor unit, and again we need to align the grooves so it fits and has good contact with the motor unit, like that, right? Then we need to add the end piece to the unit, and again you just need to perhaps either use a rubber hammer, or in my instance my hand, to just make sure that it taps in nice and snug like this. Cool. Now we have finished the modification, and we are ready to mount the actual curtain. Before we mount it, let's just have a look at the mounting instructions, where you can see that the mounting brackets needs to be at least 16 centimeters away from the outer dimensions of the curtain, because to make sure that it sits nice and snug, and also because on the left side you will not have mounting grooves on the curtain, because that's where the motor unit sits. I'm not a big fan of these mounting brackets that IKEA sends with this unit. It actually takes quite a decent amount of force to do this, but again, once you've gotten them to sit there, it's okay. But it's not the easiest of jobs. To make sure that the curtain doesn't go down too long, what you do is you make it go down manually, and then you press 2 times on the down button, and that will sort of tell the curtain that this is the max length that it will have. To start out the smart unit connection, what we need to go into is our IKEA app, and then we need to connect our remote control with the hub. To do so, we first need to reset the remote control. We do that by pushing down on the reset button 4 times, and it will blink. Now we then need to connect it to the hub, and to do so we hold it very close to the hub by holding again the pairing button down, and you will see both the remote control and the hub will start to blink to verify that they are now connected. Like that. Cool. We can then add the actual curtain now that the remote control have been paired with our hub. So we find the curtain in the list, and then it will ask us to make sure that we have our remote control ready and that there is a battery in the curtain. We need to push the 2 buttons on the curtain at the same time to put it in pairing mode, and then hold the remote control that we already paired with the hub close to the curtain, and you'll see the white light start to flash, which signals that it's doing the pairing. And you will also see it in the app that the pairing process has started, and it is added to the app like that. Now, because we have our IKEA app hooked up to the Amazon Alexa app, we also see in the top that Alexa already found the new curtain. So now we can just name the curtain, the remote control, and the room that all of these components are sitting in within our IKEA app. And we pretty much need to do the same in the Amazon Alexa app here, where I'll just find it in my device list. And then we can go to the settings wheel and give it a proper name. Next step is to find the room that this device will sit within, or the group if you will, and then add it to that group so it will adhere to that. Here we are in the Apple Homekit app, and we will probably pretty much need to do the same. Find the device, give it the name that we want it to have, and add it to the room that it sits in. There we go. Right, to control this unit, the easiest part is of course to use the button where you can use the down and up part of that. That's pretty much GIFs itself. The one thing that you might not be aware of, that you can actually press the down button and hold it, and then once you let go of it, it will stop going down. So that's another option for you guys to use. Moving on to controlling via smart assistants and apps, you'll hear me talking Danish now. Luk rullegardin kontor. To the Google Assistant in order for the curtain to go down, and we can do the same by making it go up. We can also add a specific percentage that we want the curtain to be open or closed, depending on how you look at it. Luk rullegardin kontor til 90%. But what you can do within the Google Home app is just use the app to control it. You need to use your voice to do so. You don't have the option to have like a toggle within the app to control how open or closed the curtain is. In the Apple HomeKit app, we do have the option to control it directly using the app without voice, like I'm showing you here. And if we press and hold the icon, we will get a toggle to define specifically how much we want the curtain to be opened or closed, like this. You can also use Siri to control it, and again, sorry for this part being in Danish. Luk rullegardin kontor. Åbn rullegardin kontor. And again, we can define a specific percentage that we want the curtain to be open or closed to. Sæt rullegardin kontor til 90%. In the Amazon app, we can both use voice and the app, like shown here, to directly control just using the UI, but also voice will work. Open the office curtain. And again, like with both Google and Apple, we can define a specific percentage. Set the office curtain to 90%. So this was the 5th Fyrtur in our house, and probably not the last in the line. I really like this product. It has a good balance between what it costs and what it does, and we are very pleased with the other 4 that we already have. So big recommendation from my side, and again, as you will have seen from this video, it's fairly easy to modify it should it not fit the window frame that you have. So again, this is not difficult. I'm not a super handyman or anything else like that. This can be done by pretty much anyone, as long as you have a good saw and a good pair of scissors, then you should be pretty much good to go. Should you have any questions that I didn't cover in this video, just leave a comment and I'll try to answer it. See you guys in another video. Have a great day.